Welcome to the first lecture of Information Assurance and Security. In Unit 1, we'll see what are the various topics which we are going to cover. So first we are going to cover the Information Assurance basics. Then we are going to have a look at the MSR model. And then we'll be seeing how Information Assurance is used in cybersecurity field. We'll also be learning about the implications from the lack of information assurance. Then we'll be studying about the information assurance concepts. We'll be covering the CIA triad, and we will also be covering topics like assets, threats, vulnerabilities, risk and control. We'll also be covering cryptography in detail here in this unit 1. And the last topic which we'll be covering here is what are the various organizations providing resources for the professionals. Information assurance basics. What is information assurance? So information assurance is nothing but the measures that protect and defend the information and information system by ensuring their availability, integrity, authentication, confidentiality and non-repudiation. So these measures include providing for restoration of the information systems by incorporating protection, detection and reaction capability. Information assurance, it defines and applies a collection of policies, standards, methodologies, services and mechanisms to maintain mission integrity with respect to people, process, technology, information and supporting infrastructure. Information assurance provides for confidentiality, integrity, availability, possession, utility, authenticity, non-repudiation, authorized use and privacy of information in all forms and during all exchanges. Now we'll see the core principles of IAS. So the first principle which we are going to see is called as confidentiality. What do you mean by confidentiality? Confidentiality ensures the disclosure of information only to those persons with authority to see it. The files which we are sharing should be viewed only by the authorized person. It should not be viewed by non-authorized person. The next core principle which we are going to see is called as integrity. Integrity ensures that information remains in its original form. Information remains true to the creator's intent. So in the given diagram, we have a sender, we have a receiver. The sender, for example, if he is trying to send a file, we will calculate the hash of the file. So when the receiver receives the same file, the receiver also will be calculating the hash for the file. If both the sender's hash and the receiver's hash matches, then we can understand that the file has not been modified in transit. For example, if anybody else has modified the file, both the hashes will not match. So this is basically used to ensure integrity such that the file has not been tampered, modified in transit. The next core principle which we are going to see is called as authentication. So authentication is nothing but the information or information resources conforms to reality. It is not misrepresented as something it is not. Then the next principle is called as the possession. Information or information resources remain in the custody of the authorized personnel only. Availability. So availability is the next principle which informs that the information is always ready for use within the stated operational parameters. So this slide explains the various IAS core principles like confidentiality, possession, integrity, authenticity, utility and availability. The next principle which we are going to see is called privacy. So privacy ensures the protection of personal information from observation or intrusion as well as adherence to relevant privacy compliances. The next core principle which we are going to see is called as utility. The utility means that the information is fit for a purpose and it is always in a usable state. Authorized use. Authorized use ensures cost incurring services are available only to the authorized person. Non-authorized person will not be able to use the data. Then non-repudiation. So it ensures the originator of a message or transaction may not later deny the action. So we have two types of non-repudiation, which is called as non-repudiation source, and we also have non-repudiation destination. Now we will look at the IA architecture, or you can also call as IA squared framework. So what does this framework say? It's basically it explains the basic conceptual structure for defining and describing an information assurance architecture. So in the previous slide, we have seen the six architectural views, mainly people, policy, business process, system and application, information or data, and infrastructure. A single statement of risk may be stated from the perspectives of the nine IA core principles, each from one of the six different views. So, we have nine core principles and six architecture views. So, we get 54 perspectives on that particular single risk. The information assurance process basically consists of various stages. So the first stage is called as your enumeration and classification of the information assets, where we try to list down and classify the data. The next stage is called as your risk assessment, where we are trying to calculate the various threats, and we are going to find out the various vulnerabilities that can harm the organizational assets. The third step is called as the risk analysis, where we try to find out the probabilities or likelihood and the impact of various threats. Then the next stage is called as the risk management. It is the process by which how we are actually going to manage the various risks. So the next step is called as the test and review. We follow all these processes. We try to test the system, and then again we are going to do some modifications based on our results. Then this entire process is continued.